It is in no way a chore to direct the Range Rover down the road. How beautiful is that, by the way? Hey crew, I've got the key to that 22 Land Rover Range Rover First Edition. We are going to take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. It's been 10 years since we had a new Rover, and at first glance it looks a lot like the old one, at least up here at front. But you get closer and you start to see the differences, like new projector LED headlights and DRLs, a new cleaner lower bumper with integrated fog lights. There's some new sculpting on the hood. Of course, you still have Range Rover spelled out in thick letters. This one is painted in sunset gold satin finish, and I do like the finish. I don't know if this color would be my first choice though. In profile, we have some optional 23-inch gloss black wheels, wrapped in Pirelli P0 Scorpion 285 section front and rear tires. Right now the Rover is in the standard 8 inches of ground clearance, but with the air suspension, it can raise up to 11 inches in the off-road setting or lower down for access height. This is a new U-shaped design on the front doors. There's gloss black for the mirror caps and window trim. The door handles, which stick out when the vehicle is unlocked, flush mount when it's locked. Stepping back to look at the profile of this short wheelbase version, there is also a long wheelbase version with a new for Rover 3 rows of seating. The profile is super slick, very streamlined. I like it a lot. At the back, our new LED taillight designs. Under this piece of gloss black, Range Rover is still spelled out on the tailgate. There's gloss black for the lower bumper. The rear end, very clean cut, like the whole exterior of this SUV. It's elegant in its simplicity. Now let's check out the interior. Opening up and looking inside at this Perlino semi-aniline leather interior. It's a cream color. Look at the thickness of these rear passenger headrests, and they are adjustable. Seat perforations, rear seat heating, ventilation, and massage are here. Tons of sumptuous leather on the doors, open pore wood trim, some gloss black, aluminum trim, including for the Meridian Signature 35 speaker 1600 watt sound system. We've got memory for the rear seats, back angle adjustments, slide, rear sun blinds, and lighting configurations. Getting inside at this access height is not too hard, though grab handle would be nice. And taller folks, note the tall seat height so you don't hit your head getting inside. Just a bit of a duck will do. Soft closed doors. Behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, I've got sort of acceptable, not gratuitous knee room. Good sized foot pockets to slide my feet under though, and good thigh support. Headroom is sufficient with my head all the way back, and if I recline the seat, I get even more. This is the seat you really want to be in though, because without a front passenger, you send the seat forward, you deploy your thigh support and footrest, and just try to relax. The only thing is that taller adults will have quite a bit of knee bend there. On the deploying center console, we'll find some open pore wood trim. This hides your 2 cup holders that you find by hitting this button here and sending it forward. On the screen itself, you can adjust your seat angle, the sun blinds, the climate control, your ambient lighting, or configure your 2 11.4-inch screens. If you stick your fingers under the leather padded armrest, you can find 2 levels of storage, one for your smartphone and the deeper one with 2 USB-C ports and 2 HDMI ports. Here we find your 4-zone climate control settings. When the car is on, you'll see those activate. And then beneath those are kind of hidden way down there, 2 USB-C ports, a DC outlet, and an AC outlet. If you don't need this console here, if you want to use the middle seat, hit that button and it is going to take a minute to convert into a middle seat. Now we're done. And without a huge drive shaft hump, it's not too hard to slide into the middle. You can kind of straddle it, and then my head does clear with room. Under the panoramic glass roof that does open up, the headliner is all in leather that's stitched beautifully. You've got 2 grab handles and more air vents here. Yeah, you've got quite a lot going on in the back seats. The only complaint, it's not going to be the material quality that's beautiful. It's not going to be the toys, those work well. It's going to be that I wish there was just a little more knee room. Let's check out the front. We know they can soft close, but let's hear a full-on door close noise. Decent thud. A little bit of a crash there though. Up front, we find more adjusting headrests, more power adjusting, heated, ventilated, and massaging seats, aluminum first edition tread plates, aluminum accented foot pedals. Hit this button here to open the top portion of the signature Range Rover clamshell trunk lid. Behind the second row of seats, we find 34.5 cubic feet of space. To expand that, you press forward on these toggles to power fold the seats. They don't go all the way flat, but you do have 70.9 cubic feet of space. There are additional power controls for your cargo cover and the raising and lowering air suspension system. You hit that to bring down the bottom portion of the tailgate for a seat to kick your legs and enjoy your fancy picnic. Close everything up in one fell swoop. Up front, one small annoyance to the doors. They basically have to be fully open because there aren't defined notches in between, so they just sort of close themselves. We'll put the vehicle in accessory mode to turn on the crystal clear digital instrument cluster. It is reconfigurable. There's a head-up display, 2 tones of leather on the dashboard, a 13.1-inch curved infotainment system that is fairly intuitive. Again, the graphics are amazing. It's responsive, and there's wireless Apple CarPlay with Android Auto. Beneath are 2 zones of auto climate. Under the wood trim is a wireless smartphone charging pad and USB-C port. There's aluminum trim around your physical volume knob and gear selection. Your drive mode selection pops up from here. Slide this back to find 2 cup holders and slide that back to find deep console storage with a USB-C and A port. Under the padded leather armrest is a refrigerator. We have the now iconic adjusting armrests, 2 levels of storage on the glove box, digital rearview mirror. The steering wheel is a large diameter, 2 tones of leather. Thickness feels perfect in the hands. There are big aluminum paddles on it. Visibility is solid, and you have standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. This cabin is just extravagant with the materials, the layout, the technology. You'll have to decide for yourself whether you want this first edition's 5-seater configuration, the SV's 4-seater, or the new 3-row Range Rover, but they're all going to be pretty darn good. Now let's take the new Range Rover for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. Ooh, some throatiness from that V8 upon startup. This is one of those rare times where I don't really want to move because these seats are so comfortable. I just want to hit massage and take a nap. Okay, fine, we'll go. Our drive mode. We're going to start out in comfort. We also have eco and dynamic as our on-road modes, and then a bunch of other off-road modes that we won't get to today. This is going to be an exclusively on-road driving experience. I will show you one off-road thing. The camera angles. Got a few of them. Front view, front tire shots, and then this one's the coolest. You can see through the hood when you're not parked in front of a curb. For on-road cameras, see the 3D projection. Always fun. Got your bird's eye view, and then a myriad of other camera angles, including an ultra wide view that we'll use right now as we click in and press forward on the gear selector and back on up. Trajectory lines here for us. Down to drive. Oh, one cool thing. You can do the 3D camera while moving. Wouldn't recommend it at any high speed. Don't get distracted by it, just kind of cool. We'll begin with the world famous horn test. Very dignified. It's present, makes itself known, but not in an annoying way. Turn signal sound. Also rather gentle. Posh. It's a posh turn signal, if there is such a thing. Powertrain in the new Range Rover. You've got 3 options to choose from. 2 right now, one coming for the 2023 model year, And then a fourth coming for the 24 model year. The entry-level powertrain is a turbocharged inline 6-cylinder paired with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. It makes 395 horsepower. This one has a twin turbocharged 4.4-liter V8. It makes 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. What's interesting about that powertrain is that it's shared with BMW. Yes, in some of the X7 models, you get the same 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8. For 23, they're going to be introducing a plug-in hybrid motor that's going to have 48 miles of all-electric range. And then for 24, we'll get our first all-electric Range Rover. Of the two powertrains you can have right now, they're both using an 8-speed automatic gearbox and sending power to all 4 tires. The V8 power delivery is just velvety. This motor is great in the X7. It's great here too. It may even be more smooth in this Range Rover. The only time the transmission is somewhat tedious is at very low speeds if you're just kind of easing into the power. And this is in comfort mode, not in dynamic. It's sharper in dynamic. But in comfort, if you just ease in, there's a laziness there. You have to put your foot pretty far into the throttle, and then it wakes up and kind of gives you more of a boost than you might be expecting. Otherwise, just blissful gear changes, imperceptible. The seats, as I mentioned, are just incredibly comfortable. They're ergonomic, they contour to my body. The leather is supple, the cushioning is perfect. Let's do our turning radius test now. Just incredible. The rear wheel steering system helps the new Range Rover completely pivot, and it makes this vehicle so maneuverable. In addition to steering that's so light and precise, it is in no way a chore to direct the Range Rover down the road. How beautiful is that, by the way? A perfect pairing for this SUV where you're just so at ease. The ride quality on this adaptive air suspension is, in the vast majority of situations, supple and refined. There are only a couple instances over hard impacts where those 23-inch wheels with the skinny sidewalls and the suspension tuning isn't just perfect. You hear a bit of crashiness over certain bumps, and you feel a little disruption. Not a lot, just a little. How about a real-world 0 to 60 test? All right, for that real-world 0 to 60, I've got my race box set up over here because I was getting some interference from the windshield, and I'm going to need to make some drive mode changes. We're going to move into the dynamic setting, which is going to sharpen up the throttle response, and then I'll pull back on the gear selector to put us into sport powertrain. I do emphasize this is real world because we do not have a primed surface, and I'm facing a little bit of an uphill. I'm still going to brake boost it for the best possible launch, though. All right, here goes. After just the littlest bit of hesitation, we were off to the races in 4.8 seconds. That is a very quick launch. 4.8, there's your proof. And the roar from that V8 that's been absent this entire time, it's present now. And the motivation is 100% here. You're not going to miss the fact that you do have 523 horsepower to play with. Yet the smoothness of the power delivery doesn't change at all. Yes, the throttle response is picked up. It'll drop down gears more quickly. Yet the surge is still linear. Let's try taking over manual control here by pulling on one of the paddles. Quick shifts. Down and up. There's proper power here. Furthermore, it's a treat to utilize these paddles, giant aluminum pieces. They're not just decorative, they feel excellent in the hands. Oh, big girl can hustle. So for straight line speed, the box has been checked, but what about handling? I've gone ahead and turned off stability control. You can't, as far as I can tell, defeat traction control. We'll carry some speed into here, hard on those brakes, some nosedive, but not bad in terms of stopping power. Turn in. Not sluggish, and there is more resistance in dynamic mode, but not much more feel. Oh, and traction control absolutely robbing us of power. Coming out of that corner, it was just nothing from the throttle fully pinned. Okay, so the Rover leans in corners. Those all-season tires definitely aren't helping in terms of grip, and they tell the traction control system, you better cut that power because this thing is going to roll. Yet it stayed fairly sure-footed. This is not clearly a high-performance SUV intended to be attacking curves like that. It can handle itself just fine. There is going to be nosedive under hard braking, but the brakes are definitely up to snuff for stopping you, and there is going to be lean in corners. The feedback through the wheel, though, as I said, there's more resistance and dynamic. There's no more sensitivity, no more communication through this rack. Instead of troubling ourselves too much with the handling, let's enjoy a cruise on the highway, going into the Eco Drive mode and just relaxing. The tall, boxy design does allow for some wind noise to creep in at the seams. You can hear a bit of road noise, and those 23-inch wheels do generate a light hum on the highway, especially on this not great surface that's under construction here. Yet the Rover stays polished. And now we're going to lead into the miles per hour word of the day that I feel encapsulates this 22 Range Rover, and that is genteel. In other words, it is refined, sophisticated. Everything this SUV does, short of maybe handling a curve aggressively, is done with great poise. You're comfortable. It has plenty of power, yet it does not deliver that power in an exhilarating way. It does so in a graceful way. I can't think of many better daily drivers than this Rover. Especially if you have something on the weekend that really excites you to drive. You don't need that every day. Instead, you've got this vehicle that in the situation has the power you need, but in all other situations has the comforts you need. They killed it. They really did. It's better in every measurable way than its predecessor. Now we need to get into pricing and competition for this 22 Rover. The starting figure is $95,000 for the SE model. If you want to jump up to this first edition, be prepared. You got to shell out just under $160,000, and the one as tested here is just under $170,000. Two specs I've yet to share with you. The top speed is 155 miles per hour, and the fuel economy is 16 mpg city, 21 on the highway, and 18 combined. Some other vehicles you might consider. the Alpina XB7. It starts at $142,000. It makes 612 horsepower, though the new model they just announced makes 630 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and the fuel economy is 17 combined. You may also consider the Mercedes-Maybach GLS 600. That one starts at $162,000. It makes 550 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 4.8 seconds, and the fuel economy is 15 combined. Then if you want to think of another Mercedes model targeting a little bit different of an audience, we have the Mercedes-AMG G63. That one starts at just under $158,000. It makes 577 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and the fuel economy is an abysmal 14 combined mpg. Where I think the Rover absolutely excels. For one, if you park it next to any of those vehicles, the G63 being the possible exception for its brashness and just cool factor, people are going to draw their eyes to this vehicle. It's like standing a supermodel next to us normal people. No one's really going to give any of us a passing glance. It's all about that supermodel. And especially when you open the doors and you start peering around inside and you go, wow, this cabin is exquisite. The material qualities are fine. The layout, the technology, and then you drive and you're like, wow, it is so comfortable, so relaxed. The G63 is the only exception to what I'm about to say to this. The Rover also has this leg up, jokingly, because it can raise the air suspension, in terms of off-road capability. Yeah, the XB7 or the GLS 600 could take you to a well-trodden campsite, but the Range Rover will take you up the mountain behind the campsite. The G63 with the locking differentials is plenty capable, but it doesn't have that air suspension system. This one wins for me. It just does. It's the one I would want to drive. It's the one I want to look at every day and then go out and drive every day. If you want to see how the new Range Rover performs at night, if you want to hear that Meridian 35 speaker sound system, watch Zent's PUV Night Drive that is airing in the next day or two. I hope you've enjoyed this PUV Drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified, and I'll see you next time.